Welcome to Trailer Hitch, and tonight we are going to begin with a confession. Now, I know you like to hear about the trailers first and foremost, but a confession has to be made nonetheless.
But it's good to say that this is a trailer movie podcast. We'll get to that.
We just want to bring up what's happening in the local news. Yes, Tekashi 69 is on the stand, pointing at people left and right. Doesn't matter who you are, saying they're members of the gang. Doesn't matter if you are someone who just mugs people on the street or if you're Cardi B. He's pointing you out. And so I, Kevin Heyer, would like to head this off right now. And before he can implicate me, I'm just going to come out and say it. Yes, I am a member of the Nine Trey Bloods gang.
You are. Yeah. I was wondering. Now, if any of you...
You were probably wondering why I got all these face tattoos within the past 6 months.
Okay, see, I was wondering what you were even talking about because I didn't even know who that person was that you just mentioned. And listeners, if you're in my boat who you didn't know who that was, that's okay. We'll talk about more than just Kevin's gang life.
I know you can't see it, but I'm throwing up signs.
Yeah, you know, like the DVD of M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. And it's very offensive, and I don't want people taking it the wrong way.
Well, I'm fairly certain that this is how you let people know you're in a gang, right? You're just kind of like, hey.
Swing away, Joaquin Phoenix.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Grab a seat, pour yourselves some whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Mel Gibson would probably do well in one of those gangs.
These days we call them terrorist groups. Hi, welcome to Trailer Hitch.
That's so true. See, it still works with what I said about Mel
Kevin.
Gibson. I'm James, everyone.
Just
picture him with face tattoos.
I don't want to. This is Trailer Hitch, where we talk about movie trailers first and foremost.
Yeah, like Signs.
Like Signs, exactly. We rate trailers on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see. If James and I both give a trailer a need to see rating, we celebrate. Then we go see the movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Review, where in which we review the film and the trailer in retrospect, which, given that at the time of this recording, Joker is coming up pretty soon, and...
It's out.
Yes, that's
correct, yeah.
And that's already a pretty controversial topic. You will eventually hear what we have to think about that.
Yeah.
Before we can say anything inflammatory about the Joker, we got to talk about some other trailers. So we have a pretty jam-packed episode for you guys tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Thursdays, which is the day we record.
Yeah.
I think people just love releasing trailers on Thursdays.
Don't worry, the floodgates have opened, but we got our scuba gear. As I put on the snorkel, please know that we are going to be talking about The Kingsman. We are also going to be talking about 1917. We're going to be talking about Birds of Prey. We're going to be talking about Richard Jewell. And if you're like, wait, what's that one? I thought that too, and then once I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, that's why James wants to talk about it.
Interesting.
Yes.
And also, we can't forget there's been another trailer for Terminator, Kevin.
I don't know when the movie comes out, but genuinely, if another 6 come out before the movie actually premieres, we're going to review every last damn one of them.
We're still going to be reviewing trailers for this movie 3 years from now. Yeah. 3 years after the movie came and gone, it sucked, no one liked it, Terminator franchise is dead in the water, we'll still be reviewing trailers for this damn thing.
Now, before we can do all of that, we're going to make a pit stop at the teaser trailer showroom. Now, the teaser trailer showroom is where we talk about teaser trailers. Now, these by nature are always going to be need-to-see mores. I don't know, was this marketed as an official trailer, James?
The movie that we are talking about is El Camino. It is the Breaking Bad movie. They actually released a real teaser a few weeks ago. It was just like Skinny Pete, Jesse Pinkman's buddy, in an interrogation room.
Which wasn't really enough for us to talk about.
And then there was a second teaser of just footage of Jesse in the car, and then you get an extreme close-up of his eyes in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And now this one, they're actually marketing it as a trailer. And I watched it and went, you bastards gave me a third teaser. This is a teaser.
Yeah, I mean, the entire conceit of the teaser trailer showroom is this is like we're car shopping. Now, this is effectively, we're looking at a trailer in the showroom that's already been sold. But at the same time, we can look at this and say whether or not someone got robbed. You know? Whether or not someone paid far too much for that.
Yeah.
We are going to be talking about El Camino.
I found grace in the black water bathe my soul. Tell my heart I told you so.
You ready? Yeah.
I didn't realize how fitting it was that we were talking about something in the teaser trailer showroom, and the title is a car.
I was
too.
very aware of it, Kevin.
So
this is what I live for, is these kinds of things that add up.
yes, this is the trailer for El Camino. Honestly, still doesn't really give us a ton to go off of, other than what we, as two people who have seen the entire series of Breaking Bad, know. The story of Jesse Pinkman ends with him escaping the meth compound, and he's free, and he seems happy. I actually remember reading the script for the finale.
Yeah.
Where it says he's off to somewhere, we don't know where, but let's just say it's better.
He
and with this
seems
trailer,
relieved.
Relieved.
I wouldn't say happy. He is screaming and crying in the car when he's driving away.
What's in the emotion family of relieved, James?
I guess. I'm just saying there's probably a better adjective than he was happy.
So he's jubilant at the end of Breaking Bad. And so, like, that script does say he's off to somewhere, let's just say it's better. And this movie is coming in to say, or maybe not. Now Jesse Pinkman is full stop on the run from the second he gets out of that compound.
Yeah, so we don't get a whole lot about it. It's very atmospheric.
Yeah.
Vince Gilligan is really, really great with his music choices. Breaking Bad, just some of the best combinations of music with visuals. And I thought this trailer was really solid, too. Like, the song choice, it's beautiful, it's haunting, and it fits really well with the tragedy of Jesse Pinkman.
Absolutely.
We just don't get anything of, like, what is going to be happening in this movie other than the fact that he's on the run.
I know we've talked about quite a few trailers recently, and most of them have been for major franchises like The Avengers and for Star Wars.
And for Terminator.
And for Terminator. Where
Endlessly Terminator.
We've been talking about franchises who put out trailers that are incredibly vague. Now, this movie, El Camino, is going to drop in, 2 weeks?
It's October, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is probably the last we're going to hear about the movie until one day we go on Netflix and go, oh, fuck, right, that was coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of giving it some leeway because for television, Breaking Bad is a pretty big deal. I'm good with it not giving me too much information.
Yeah.
And giving me what I've effectively been missing since Breaking Bad ended, which is just all of the tension. And you're correct, the use of music is superb. And
I got a real Western vibe out of this teaser.
well, especially at the end when we got two people who were about to, goddamn Red Dead each other.
Yeah, they're like, it is a shootout. It's about to happen.
That's what it is. It's a shootout. I've played like 60 hours of Red Dead 2, and so now
60 hours? You got off light, buddy.
I did no side quests.
I played like 300 hours of that game. Still only 80%. Anyway, I think it's interesting marketing. Like you said, I don't need more as a Breaking Bad fan. And Vince Gilligan has gone out of his way to say this movie is only for Breaking Bad fans. I tried thinking of how to make this movie accessible to people who haven't seen Breaking Bad, and I just gave up. He said that in an interview. So here it is, just a movie for Breaking Bad fans.
I want to go into this relatively blind. It's, okay, Jesse is on the run. Cool. That's what I know going into this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting. But I think to go in and then say, and then the ghost of Ghost Fring comes back. It's like, well, shit, I would have liked to have seen that happen live. At least the ghost of Walter White, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Just so that way Jesse has that moment where he can come full circle as a character and look his mentor, but also his tormentor, dead in the eye, and say, you're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now, and you're not so big. But then Walter White leans in and says,
Life is unfair.
Not many people will appreciate that, but
Are you one of them?
I was a massive Malcolm in the Middle fan.
Okay,
so
good.
that was, You know your audience. Well done, well done.
For anyone else who is not a fan of Malcolm in the Middle or a member of the Nine Trey Bloods gang, I would like to sincerely apologize for these very niche jokes that are coming at you.
Let's get some more vague general jokes for the masses out there. And for that, we probably need to steer away from the trailer showroom.
Yeah, let's ride 'em cowboy. Let's get away from this neo-western.
Giddy up.
We're giddying up and then going and putting on some suits. We're putting on our monocles. We're getting our umbrellas.
Yep.
But our umbrellas also have knives in them. This is a tune-up for the Kingsman.
I know you want to fight, but there are other ways of doing your duty. You're going to need a suit. Reputation is what people think of you. Character is what you are. Armed and ready. Armed, yes. But ready, well, we shall see.
Cheerio, Governor, but the Cheerios are small bombs. This is the Kingsmen. Now, I remember my hesitation with the first trailer was I wasn't quite sure why the movie needed to be a thing.
This is the prequel to The Kingsman. It's a far prequel. World War I era.
Yes, and this is how the Kingsman came to be.
Correct.
Now, in that first trailer, I was like, I don't know why I need that, especially with how epic and serious it was playing it. I wasn't really that sold on.
Exactly, and I think piggybacking off of that also, style-wise, it wasn't really selling me on, is this a part of that franchise?
Yeah.
Because that first Matthew Vaughn Kingsman movie
is fun.
It's funny, it's fun, it's wildly energetic, and that first trailer for this one,
it felt very Zack Snyder.
So we were a little disappointed, just because it's like this doesn't feel like it fits. It feels a little unnecessary. But we got a new trailer now.
I am enjoying this more than the first one. I'm still a little, because I know when we watched that first trailer, we were like, wait, is that Rasputin? How far back does this shit go?
Yeah.
And this definitely seems to be keeping it in one period, even though the movie might go back to that period, to the 1800s. I think for a 2.5-minute trailer, to kind of center it on one time period really did help me get more enjoyment out of it. I think we can all agree, especially in a 2.5-minute trailer, the more you step back and say, wait, hang on, I'm being taken out of this, the more likely it is you won't enjoy the trailer. So,
and won't be interested in seeing the movie at large.
Yeah, but how about you, James?
100% more entertaining than the last one. I mean, just focusing on the things people have fun with, the action, the fight choreography, the camera work. It's stylistic, and it's not, I don't think this is Matthew Vaughn. Whether it's the same director or not, I think it is important to establish that the visual style is still the same because it's in the same universe.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's a continuity thing that fans would really appreciate. It was lacking in the first trailer. This one is totally present. There's jokes in it. They're not knee slappers, but they're not bad either.
They're quite the epitomization of gentleman's humor.
They're gentleman's humor.
The most you'll let out for gentleman's humor is a rueful,
oh, I see what they did there. Cheerio. You said Cheerio already. That's all right. Raisin Bran. Anyway, so I really liked this trailer. I think I'm still a little apprehensive. I'm not entirely sold on this one yet, but it's just a massive step in the right direction. I don't remember what I gave it before, but this is either going up or staying at a need to see more for me.
Okay. Cheerio. No, we said that. Raisin Bran.
No.
Honey Smacks, my boy. I am going to be at a need to see more for this as well.
Okay.
I'm definitely not as invested to the point where I'm like, I need to see how this shit came together. I might just not be the audience that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And this is a good trailer, but like it's just very clearly not for me. But then again, this is all my personal opinion. So I'm going to just be at a need to see more for this. I definitely think this is a stronger outing than the first trailer.
Definitely. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm just not into this anymore type of thing. It could be that.
Yeah.
In which case, this is the best it's going to get for me, which is a need to see more.
Yeah. Well, Count Chocula, my boy. We're going to move on. we are going to be talking about the third trailer for Terminator Dark Fate.
My name is Sarah Connor. I hunt Terminators. Enough of a resume for you.
How do we stop this thing?
I'm going to help you change the future.
I'm done running. I'm gonna stand and fight. If you don't make it, everybody dies.
All right, Kevin, so with the last Terminator Dark Fate trailer, we kind of had a lot to say about it.
Yeah, you were mad.
I don't know about mad. I was not happy with how they presented Sarah Connor.
Right.
Essentially,
Yes.
that's basically what it boiled down to for me.
So, I mean, like, right out the gate, how are we feeling about Sarah Connor now?
It's almost like they listened to our podcast and, like, walked back all of the things that I complained about in that first one. Even in that last one, I mentioned how this new woman who they're protecting, it's like, what's her deal? Like, they even addressed that, and we got, like, a whole, like, backstory in one trailer of, like, her whole situation.
Well,
not why they're protecting her,
but
she's a presence in this trailer.
Yeah, it's interesting because over the course of 3 trailers, I can tell you who the antagonist of this is. My question is now, who the fuck is the protagonist supposed to be in this thing? I guess it's an ensemble, but as of right now, it is a lot of people getting cornered and going, oh no, and then someone walking up and shooting John Cusack. But it's interesting because even though I think this trailer is far more focused, it just might belie a problem with the movie itself. Again, like, I'm not sure why we're protecting this one woman. I don't know who sent back the blonde Terminator lady. I don't really know why Sarah Connor is throwing her hat into this ring other than to just be there. And as of right now, it does feel like this Terminator movie probably would have made far more sense if it was just the woman that needed to be protected and blonde Terminator lady. But we had to get these 2 people who were huge in the franchise in here so that way it had the name recognition. But right now, I feel like those 2 characters are just kind of muddling the story.
Yeah,
here. And it's taking focus away. We could have probably gotten why the lady needed to be protected, or at least call attention to the fact that we are playing coy with it.
But yeah, let's take it back to my very first thing that I commented, though, about how they just, like, walked back all of the shitting on Sarah Connor fest that was the last Terminator Dark Fate trailer. And it's funny because they didn't, like, give us anything new with her. They just showed us all of the same scenes that I know end with them shitting on Sarah Connor, and they just cut it right before that. So I know it's still there, though. You didn't reconcile it at all. I don't buy into it, man. Maybe if I saw this one first, I would have been more on board. But because I saw that second one first and know all of those badass lines that Sarah Connor said end with the blonde Terminator being like, bitch, sit down, you know?
Let's see. So turning back the clock, I know I was at a need to see more for the last trailer, and I don't think I have to change anyone's fate here. I still think this is a need to see more. Some of the action that's present in here, again, I just get giddy satisfaction, regardless of how silly it is, of Sarah Connor whipping out a full-on fucking rocket launcher in the middle of a freeway and blowing up a Terminator. Like, that's just fun.
Yeah.
And the more they embrace that inherent goofiness, the more on board I am with this, especially when you're not giving me the stakes, really, in terms of what this woman means to the human race.
I mean, we know the stakes. The blonde Terminator was like, if she dies, all humanity dies, or something like that.
Well, yeah, but like...
So those are the stakes, but the why is the thing that's missing.
Exactly. Does she figure out the virus that she's going to send? Is she going to DDoS all of these machines? So, like, all these Terminators are going, and then just keel over?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what does she specifically do?
And honestly, the action doesn't really blow me away a whole lot. I think there's
Not even the rocket launcher blew you away?
No, not really. Not even the rocket launcher blew me away. There is the fight scene between the blonde Terminator and the John Cusack Terminator. The choreography there is pretty interesting. Yeah. But other than that, not much for me here.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we've been talking about a war that might conceivably happen thousands of years in the future. Let's go back to a war that happened, say, sometime between 1916 and 1918. We're going to be doing a tune-up from 1917.
You lost me.
I'm going back to see my father. We need to keep moving. Come on. I'm going there, no more to run. We can't possibly make it that way, man. You bloody insane.
If you don't get there in time, we will lose 1,600 men. Good luck.
So we're taking our rifles to 1917. Now, that said, we missed the first time because another trailer came out and it takes goddamn forever to load these rifles because you gotta, like, put the pellets in and shit. So we got more to talk about. We got more to discuss here. I typically don't like talking about what I consider extra textual stuff when it comes to trailers. I like to be like, nope, I'm just sticking with the trailer. That's that.
It happens. Comes with the territory.
It's usually the stuff I cut. But I did want to bring up, just because it is interesting, this trailer, it doesn't do any of the interesting typography stuff except for the very last title card that we saw in that first trailer.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I don't anticipate during the movie this guy is going to be running through the battlefield and then it's going to be like, time, is of the essence.
I mean, it is going to be weird. It is going to be weird for me watching that scene.
Yeah.
And there not be a word come up. Like, I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm just thinking of the trailer now.
Sure. We were like, oh, I wonder how they would be able to convey some sense of style. Well, here's the full context, folks. Apparently, this is a one-shot movie. It's not like a true one-shot. It's akin to Birdman, where it was done simulated.
Just one continuous shot.
Correct.
And we never cut to a different angle. It's just a moving, like a play.
Yeah, now that said, watching this trailer, plenty of cuts. And
of course,
that first trailer, plenty of cuts.
Yeah.
And we actually went back and watched the international trailer for Birdman.
Yep.
That also completely hid the fact that it was a one-shot movie. But we did find it interesting that that is a major part of this movie, at least by the early reports.
Yeah.
And they've completely removed that angle from the trailer and not even really brought... it's not like there's a title card that comes up that's like, by the way, folks...
I mean, that would be weird, right?
Well, that could just be like one of the words. One shot.
Yeah. Regardless, I think it would be a very difficult task to try and market a movie that is a one shot, that is a one take.
Yeah. Like the only
way...
way...
With keeping that style. I don't know how you do it without...
I really feel like the only way you can do it is just take a 2.5 minute or a 2 minute
But then
scene
it's just a clip.
And just play it.
It's just a clip then. It's not a trailer. So I wouldn't say they're hiding it. They just cut a trailer like you would cut any trailer of a movie. If you're just showing, oh, this is all going to be one take, you're not going to be able to summarize what this movie's about to the people enough.
Yeah.
And that's why I think trailers inherently have to be montages.
Yeah.
They always have to be. If it's not, it's a clip. And that can sell a movie too, but to a different kind of audience.
That's a good point. Interesting. Well, I mean, outside of that, what do we get out of this? A plane flies at our protagonist.
It's pretty wild. It's a wild shot. The
Yeah.
plane comes from behind a hill, and it looks like it's angling up, but then it like curves downward toward the camera, and you're like, oh, you're gonna have to run faster than that.
Yeah. It's a pretty fun like north by northwest moment.
Yeah.
And
I liked this trailer a lot. I think again a really great, hauntingly beautiful music.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think that there's a lot of really good imagery here, which I think makes absolute sense because Roger Deakins shot it.
Who?
The Deeks.
Who?
The guy who shot No Country for Old Men.
I think you're trying to say Roger fucking Deakins.
That's one in the same.
Sorry, your dialect. I couldn't hear it. You were mumbling, I think. Anyway, gorgeous, right?
Gorgeous cinematography.
Super gorgeous. And probably a really fun challenge for him, too.
Lubeski got finished with Birdman. He was talking to Roger Deakins like, man, it was so crazy. We did this whole one-shot thing. And Roger Deakins was like, okay. And he called up Sam Mendes. He's like, we're doing a war movie and it's one shot. Sam Mendes is like, that sounds like a lot of work. You're goddamn right, it's a lot of work. And I'm going to be there every step of the way. Click.
Click and Oscar.
He finally got one for Blade Runner, and now he's just like, all right, you're giving me all of them forever now.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, what do you give this one?
Let's see, I was at a need to see last time. This time, I'm still at a need to see. I mean, it definitely gets away from the typography of that first trailer. Mm-hmm. But that said, I think it makes up for it with the audacity of the goddamn thing. It does a really good job of finding ways to top itself throughout the trailer before we get to our ending button, where it's like, all right, if you fuck this up, 16,000 people die, go for it. Salute! And that's the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
I do think that is a really powerful end to the trailer. I'm still not crazy about the whole brother angle. Like, you're saving 16,000 people and your brother.
He kind of seems like he's ready for the mission, whether his brother was there or not.
Correct.
It's kind of like Colin Firth was just like, oh, I'm going to have to really sell this to this guy so he does this for us. Well, your brother's there. He's like, what an idiot. I would have done it anyway. For Queen and Country. Or King and Country?
He runs out and Colin Firth is like... His brother is not anywhere near that battalion. His brother already went home.
His brother's in the back room. He's laughing right now. But anyway, I don't remember what I gave this one last time, but I think I'm at a need to see it for this one.
Oh, you did?
So I think we're at a double need to see.
We are at a double need to see? We don't need to see more. Just give us the goddamn movie. But before we can get that movie, we got to talk about some more trailers.
That's right.
What are we talking about next, James?
Next, we're going to drive headfirst into the main drag, and we're going to talk about a name so famous that every person on the planet must know his name. Just kidding. You've never heard of him, probably, if you're younger than 35. Which
John
I
Lennon?
am. Clint Eastwood's next movie, John Lennon. No.
How much of a bummer would that movie be? With how much that dude hates everything. Hello, I'm John Lennon, and I'm a terrible person for 2 hours.
Yep, it's really riveting stuff. That hipsters would love it, though.
I guess.
No, this is Clint Eastwood's next movie, Richard Jewell.
All right, Richard, here's what we're going to do.
We need a voice exemplar.
Might be the only way to clear your name. I want you to say into this phone, there's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Richard, you're a national hero now.
I was just doing my job.
You always look at the guy who found the bomb, just like you always look at the guy who found the body.
Jewell fits the profile of the lone bomber.
A frustrated white man who is a police wannabe who seeks to become a hero.
There's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
I do want to help y'all. I'm law enforcement too. There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
All right, we're clutching our pearls for Richard Jewell. This is directed by Clint Eastwood, written by Billy Ray. This is starring Sam Rockwell, Olivia Wilde, John Hamm, Kathy Bates, Paul Walter Hauser as the titular Richard Jewell.
All right.
Our random shout out, because we here at Trailer Hitch like to give random shout outs to either lesser known cast or crew members, because the top billed people tend to hog all the credit. So we're going to give a shout out to Audrey Williams, who was an Olympic attendee. Hey, Audrey. Nice job, bud. You're in a movie. All right, so this starts off with a man being interrogated by two shadowy figures, perhaps the FBI. Turns the tape recorder on and says, we need you to say...
There's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
We reverse on the man who he's talking to, this dude with like closely cropped hair, mustache. Looks like someone who you see at 90% of barbecues at parks. And he's like, why? And then we get more context. Now, this gentleman who seems to like a good barbecue is at an event. He discovers a bomb. And he alerts the authorities, he gets people away. We get the impulse that the bomb had gone off, but were it not for him, it would have been far more devastating. But something seems to catch everyone's eye with this gentleman who would probably be bringing dessert at the barbecue. He'd be jovial. He does fit the profile of someone who would totally bomb the fucking Olympics, though. He's a single dude, loner. Everyone starts to be suspicious. Well, how could this guy know where this bomb was planted? Now, instead of being hailed a hero, he is now being accused of the one who did the crime. So we kind of have a wrong man situation going on for someone who should be heralded as a hero, and that's what we get from the trailer. Now, from a general aesthetic standpoint, Clint Eastwood is doing his Clint Eastwood shtick of really blowing out the light in all of his images. Otherwise, it seems like he just hunkered down in a room and mainlined David Fincher for like the past year and a half in between his last movie and this.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing is the trailer is really, really playing it up where this guy is innocent, full stop. And he is being falsely accused, and that's the end of that.
Well, I mean, this is an actual historic event, so it has a conclusion. But we are just a little, I think, young, and I don't remember this event at all. So we're kind of like in the dark on this one, how it turns out. I think it's a good time where you have a lot of generations who aren't going to know this story. And I liked the vagueness.
I appreciate the vagueness here. I appreciate that it's not telling me outright, like, this is how this is going to shake out. I definitely
totally
feel...
agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it not telling me how it ends, but, like, the fact that playing it as flat as that, of just, he did not do it, the end, does kind of rob some narrative tension in the mix. And... even if you keep that ambiguity and it turns out he is innocent, it's like, oh, we should probably like step back and kind of question our biases and things like that. You know, at least in the context of this movie. But that's not how they're playing it. Like, it's very much, this guy is being made into a pariah, and that was wrong. But, I mean, like, in terms of the trailer, I think the construction of the trailer is really solid.
Well, and that's, like, the main reason I kind of shoehorned this trailer in there. And when I sent it to you, you were like, what? I don't have any jokes for it. I don't have any... I don't even have any, like, thing that insightful to say. I just thought it was a really, really well-constructed trailer.
What do you think Richard Jewell would bring to the barbecue?
Cool Whip.
You think he'd bring Cool Whip?
The Cool Whip, yeah. It's the fun guy that always brings Cool Whip.
He'd bring Cool Whip, and then he would just be at the park and be like, guys, what the fuck? I found strawberries, too. And then...
put them together, babe. Come on, Jewel. Get it going. Anyway... on paper, it just doesn't seem like something that would be that interesting to me. You know, maybe to read about in an article would be interesting, but as like a 2-hour movie, this is something that would not normally grab my attention. But the trailer is edited very, very well. It builds tension really well with just this wave after wave of like the recurring motif of that sentence, that line that we hear over and over and over again in the trailer. It kind of essentially becomes the rhythm of the trailer. It gets faster and faster, and the music builds with it, and his acting builds with it throughout the trailer. He starts off not saying anything. Yeah. Then he turns to visual confusion. Then he caves and says the line, and then he's getting into the line. Like, the more they make him say it, the more angry he sounds, the more he sounds like a guilty person actually making that phone call. Right. And I think it just built so well, intercut with the events of the trailer, that I just really wanted to talk about it. I think this is an excellently made trailer.
Yeah, I will just say from a broader sense, I always feel like Clint Eastwood trailers are really good. I love the trailer for American Sniper.
It's fantastic.
I even think the trailer for The Mule is really solid too. I think the construction of that trailer is also excellent. And I always like the trailers far more than the actual movies once I see them. So it's one of those things where... I don't know.
Fool me 300 times.
No kidding, right? Even though the construction of this is excellent, the fact that it's not really playing the accounts with any ambiguity and we're getting just a full stop, this guy is innocent, does kind of take some of the brunt out of the proceedings. Because I feel like stories like this are just kind of generated to be like, I want to make you upset that this injustice happened.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, I mean, if there's something I can do to help, let me know. But
yeah,
pissing me off for 2 hours isn't going to help anyone.
It's really tough. It's a really tough line to walk with movies that are based off of real historical events, especially ones that have happened within the last 30 years. I assume people making these trailers or even making the movies are like, oh no, people know what happens. We don't have to play both sides of it, which is incorrect inherently. People tend to forget there's a large generation of people watching movies that don't really have memories from 1996 other than going ice skating with their first grade class.
How did you know what I did in first grade?
But I don't fault it for picking a side, because I'm imagining it would be weird for a movie of like, I guess the one that comes to mind we kind of talked about was Shockingly Evil. The Ted Bundy one with Zac Efron. It was a trailer that kind of was like, he's innocent, he's guilty, he's innocent, he's guilty, other than the title cards. The title cards told us he was guilty.
Very much so.
But that one is odd because you're watching this and everyone knows Ted Bundy is guilty. So it was weird. So I wonder if they would also think that was weird if they played this one as ambiguous.
I mean, for what it's worth, I know the Ted Bundy movie initially was, the reveal at the end is he's Ted Bundy.
Oh, and they just call him Hey You for the whole movie?
They found very clever ways. Yeah, but at the same time, we do have to take into consideration Ted Bundy is an incredibly infamous serial killer, whereas I do not know the name Richard Jewell.
That's what I'm saying. They may have missed the mark, assuming that we all knew.
Yeah, exactly. And I think kind of getting more of a read as to why they are accusing him, other than just the convenience of, well, you found it, he who smelt it. I think that would really help.
Sure.
But, yeah, so for me, this is a need to see more. Again, I think it's constructed incredibly well, but like the content of what I'm seeing right now, I think it's just not for me.
And I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna throw content, out the window and just focus on how much I liked this trailer. And I loved it. I thought it was a really, really well done trailer. So this is a need to see it for me, based on the merits alone of constructing the trailer. Credit where credit's due on this one for me, anyway.
You swooped in like a hawk, or should I say like a bird of prey.
You should say that.
Because we're going to be talking about birds of prey.
I'll wait. You say it.
A Harley Quinn's role is to serve. It's nothing without a master. No one gives two shits who we are beyond that. The Joker and I broke up. I wanted a fresh start. But it turns out I wasn't the only dame in Gotham looking for emancipation. I'm the one they should be scared of. Not you, not Mr. J. Because I'm Harley freaking Quinn. Woo!
Who's having a good time?
Now, Kevin, before you get into your shtick and before looking, do you know the full name of this movie?
Okay, do you want me to give it a go?
Yeah, give it a go. Give it a red hot go.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Give it up. Well done. I definitely wanted you to fail there so I could say it and be the hero. But here we are. You know what?
We'll have you test your might at the end of this review before we rate them.
Okay. On what?
The title.
Oh, I'll remember. I know this title.
All right.
I got it tattooed on my face.
This is directed by Kathy Yan. This is written by Christina Hodson. This is starring Margot Robbie, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Ali Wong, Rosie Perez, Ewan McGregor. Our random shout out is going to go to Craig Cooper, who was the grip balloon tech. Good job, bud. You did something with a balloon, and I'm hoping you made enough money where you could just settle down after this and relax.
You got to grip those balloons, otherwise they'll fly away. Good job, grip balloon man.
Craig's got your back.
That's my
and
favorite,
your balloon.
That might be my favorite shout out we've ever done.
Cool. So this is Birds of Prey. Now, James, tell us what is happening with this trailer.
This is a spin-off movie to Suicide Squad. Do they reference that? Sort of. One, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is obviously the main character of this movie. She was in Suicide Squad. So they're not like really sweeping it under the rug. But that's really as far as it goes. She mentions the Joker by name, but other than that, this is not about him. It's not about anyone other than Harley Quinn meeting up with some other fantabulous women who are also trying to succeed in emancipation. And succeed they do. In spreading carnage, maybe. I don't know exactly what this movie is entailing. Ewan McGregor is definitely the villain.
Yeah.
He's mustache twirling without the mustache, and he wants to get him. He wants to get his hands on him, especially Harley Quinn. For what reason, I don't know. But
yeah.
I think he says that in the trailer. I'm gonna get you, you know? And she's going to be like, no, didn't you hear the first part of the trailer? I'm emancipated. I'm my own woman.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, it's a little hard to follow what is actually happening. Like I said, it's a lot of carnage. It's a lot of mayhem. And a lot of Harley Quinn having a good time.
Yeah.
Which is fun to see. I do think she is good in the role of Harley Quinn. I liked her in Suicide Squad, and I think she looks great in this.
She's definitely the most charismatic thing about Suicide Squad.
You can tell she loves playing the character. Like,
yeah.
She's having a good time with it.
Everyone else just growled, we're the bad guys on occasion.
Yeah.
Or if you were Jared Leto, you got cut down to 10 minutes.
The movie is called Birds of Prey. So it is an ensemble movie.
Hang on, let me check that. Okay, go
that
on.
Checks out. So it's an ensemble movie, but we don't really get a whole lot of the essence of it being an ensemble movie. It's very much a Harley Quinn movie, and some other women happen to be there. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about any of them other than Harley Quinn. And she talks to the audience in this, which is different than Suicide Squad. That was not a fourth wall breaking movie. This one looks like it maybe is.
DC's usually accused of like, oh, you guys made a movie? Let's see what 6 Marvel movies this is the most like. Like, I've certainly been guilty of that. And to some degree, I think that's very earned, like Suicide Squad, where it's like, this is clearly your Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, totally.
At the same time, there's like fucking 70 Marvel movies, man. Like, of course, one of these is going to be similar to this DC movie. But yeah, that said, I do think that there are some similarities to Deadpool throughout this.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Harley Quinn is definitely not as fourth wall breaking as Deadpool.
No, is anyone?
Exactly, yeah. And I think if it went a little bit too far, it would have been a bit much. But that said, it's like this weird mix of Deadpool, and it's like we're doing Suicide Squad over again, because it's her getting a rough and tumble gang of other emancipated women to get together. And it's like we're kind of getting our do-over with Suicide Squad with this.
Yeah, even though they are already doing a Suicide Squad do-over with James Gunn.
More or less, yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to... What is this trailer? What is this movie going to be about?
And again,
Do you know?
Me? I mean, they're emancipated.
Yeah.
Which, like, cool, but, like, let's get a little bit more of what they're emancipated from. And when that is threatened, seeing that, like, kind of take into effect. Now, like, having Ewan McGregor, you said earlier, what's he really doing here other than just, like, I'm gonna get you, but why are you getting her? I will say that, like, the energy within this trailer is carrying a lot for me. Like, and that's definitely helping a ton.
Mostly Margot Robbie's energy.
Oh, even in how it's shot. I mean,
sure.
It's super quick, but there's a point where she steps on a dude's knee, and when he screams, the camera does that really quick push into him crying out. It's like very Sam Raimi, and I think that it's really cool. I really enjoyed it.
No, but I think you're right, though. It's a style that I think gives it energy, and that's hard to do. And I think the energy was from how it was shot.
Right.
And that's it in this, plus Margot Robbie's performance. It's a 1-2 punch of energy. No one can ever say this trailer was void of energy. But again, I have a hard time... Like, what is the journey of this movie? I know they're emancipated. I know they are, taking steps to be their own women, masters of their domain, And other than that statement, which is the fucking title, I don't really get anything more other than energy.
Effectively, like, the arc is already done. we're starting this emancipated. And by the end, they're probably still going to be emancipated.
Unless, like, the arc is, like, them realizing that when they thought they were emancipated at the beginning, they were still shackled.
I guess.
But now we're doubly emancipated. I don't know. It could go a lot of different ways. The point is, the trailer doesn't really bother with showing us what this movie is really about. But I think it's also supposed to be funny, and I didn't really find anything funny in it though either.
Not really. I mean, I liked Margot Robbie passing
the dynamite.
The dynamite.
That was a good bit.
That was
and
really
it was a
good.
button, so it's a good spot for it in the trailer. But I kind of anticipated this type of movie having more jokes in it, but no, not really. Just me looking at energetic visuals.
Right.
I think for all that reason, I am at a need to see more with this one.
Now, you're at a need to see more, and what was the title of this movie, James? As I set up this little force so you can't read it.
It is Suicide 1.2. No?
Incorrect.
Oh, okay. That would be The Birds of Prey, The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Birds of Prey, no, The Birds of Prey, and The Fantabulous Emancipation. So you didn't know the title.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Making James feel very stupid on his podcast. That didn't rhyme, but fuck it, we're done.
I would also give it a need to see more, by the way. If anything, it makes me kind of interested to check out Kathy Yan, that director. It's made me more interested in checking out the other handful of movies that she's directed per her IMDb. Like, I'd be curious to see those now. But for this particular movie, effectively giving me a character who seems like she's at the end of her arc at the beginning of the trailer kind of takes the fun out of seeing the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a difficult thing with any sequel or spin-off. I mean, any successful first movie has an arc for their characters. And then you do a sequel and you need to come up with something else. Sometimes it falls on, hey, it's just like the same thing. You know, like Finn's arc in The Last Jedi. It was like, oh no, I'm not about the Resistance. I'm not about that. I'm like, didn't we just see you become, like, embrace being in the Resistance in the Force Awakens? My point is, sequels are tricky to nail down what you want the arc to be. And I hope this one gives us something more than just proclaiming they're emancipated throughout the whole movie.
That'd be nice.
But we'll see. We'll see in the next trailer.
And maybe we'll see you next trailer next time, because this is the end of this episode.
This is the end of the episode, man.
Before we take off, we would just like to say, if you enjoyed this episode, you can find all of them on iTunes. If you just search Trailer Hitch on iTunes, you'll find our entire podcast there. Feel free to like us, subscribe to us, rate us, review us. We love all of those things, or one of those things, whatever you can spare the time for. We are on Stitcher. All of the episodes are up to date on that. And speaking of all of the episodes, you can find those on YouTube as well.
Spectacular.
If you just search Trailer Hitch on YouTube, you will be able to find us. Maybe throw a podcast in there just so that way you don't get automotive stuff.
It's happened.
Now,
well, while Kevin's scrolling through his list of people to thank and things to credit, I did want to say, we may be getting another Star Wars trailer. I'm on the lookout for it. You don't have to be. Trust me. I will keep an eye out.
Is that wishful thinking?
No, I've heard rumblings. It could be during a Monday Night Football game at some point. So we're getting that. We're getting to that time of year that it could happen.
But if you'd like to contact us, you can find us via email. You can just hit us up at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. Feel free to send us your thoughts if you want us to review any trailers, anything like that. Otherwise, if you want to send us something on Facebook, just search Trailer Hitch Podcast there. Feel free to follow us on that. We post trailers there sometimes. We're also entirely reachable there if you want to shoot us a message. Or if you would like to send a briefer missive, you can do that on Twitter. Keep that shit down to 280 characters,
That's right.
baby. We're at Trailer Hitch Pod on there. Otherwise, if you want to take a picture and send it to us, you can do that on Instagram at Trailer Hitch Podcast.
Those are all the things.
Before we go, we'd like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for the amazing intro song that you hear at the top of every episode. We'd like to thank Rachel Ashley for the beautiful cover art that you see on iTunes and our various social medias. You can find her work at Mighty Creations on Instagram. We'd like to thank Jenny Hawks for her sterling work as our Bad Movie and social media correspondent. And we would like to thank Casey Clowers for the amazing outro, which you are going to hear momentarily. Before we say, have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you so much for listening.
May the force be with you.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Man, I was really glad to get that whole gang confession off my chest. The bad news is I'm going to be going to prison for the next 20 years. If you can bake this microphone into a cake and send it into prison, I think that would probably alleviate a lot of issues. Then we can still keep the podcast.
Do the podcast going.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, what are you going to plug it into?
I'm going to make a computer out of, like, just jailhouse components. So I'm going to make a computer
Shanks
out of...
and cigarettes.
Shanks, cigarettes, filed toothbrushes.
Yeah.
Just, like, solder a couple wires onto that and hope it gets me email.